Hey internet! I'm up in North Dakota right now, the northern section, and I just finished checking out this really cool historic cemetery in Walhalla. And there's one other place that I want to check out since I'm this far north. It is an abandoned port of entry on the Canadian border. On the way, I actually want to also check out the Pembina border crossing. That is a border crossing that is normally operational, but it is 2020 right now. And the Canadian border has actually been closed since March. And I'm curious to see if there's a barrier or if the windows are just closed or what. So we're gonna check that out, and then we're gonna make our way to an abandoned, actually abandoned, port of entry. So we're nearing the border, and it actually doesn't look closed. I'm seeing up ahead there's all these green arrows as go-aheads. Maybe some traffic is still being allowed through. This is the Pembina border crossing, by the way. This is the one that's on I-29. Weird. Okay, everything is open, it looks like, but I'm not going to Canada today, so I'm just gonna do a little U-turn. So I didn't actually see any cars going through. It looked like it was pretty much just semis, so I'm guessing trucking is still being allowed to go through. But yeah, that was weird. I didn't know what it was gonna look like, and it didn't look any different. So there you go. If you've ever wondered what the border looks like up here, that's it. But yeah, now we're gonna actually head to an abandoned port of entry. It's just a few miles east of here, and hopefully that will be more interesting. All right, here we are. There's the border right up there. I parked a little ways back here so it didn't look super suspicious, like I was about to try and drive right over this thing, because I'm sure they still have, you know, border crossing people out here, you know, watching it, surveilling it. But off on the side here, there's also some abandoned buildings. They're not in terrible condition. I wonder if they closed at the same time as the port. There's probably a lot less business without people passing through here. There's actually deer over here, do you see them? One just went into the woods, but don't seem too concerned. Oh my gosh, I'm witnessing a deer illegally crossing over into Canada. Seeing that? They did it. Alright, here it is. So right on the overside there, that used to be the Emerson crossing on Manitoba side. But they closed it on that side in 2003. And then this side they closed in 2006. All of it got moved over to Pembina, which we just drove through. So this used to be a pretty popular crossing in its day. Here's the inside. It's pretty cleared out, but it doesn't look super damaged or anything. Looks like it's holding up pretty well. Basically, you pull up here and they ask you, like, you know, what you're bringing through, if you have stuff to declare. Make sure you're not smuggling Kinder eggs. Wow, pretty old. Was this really from 2006? So up at the gates there, that's where the actual border is. All these garages here, I'm assuming, is where they'd check your car if you were suspicious. You can tell it's starting to get dark. Wow, it's quite a sunset. There's Canada. I miss you. Stop. It is illegal to cross the border here or any place other than a port of entry. You will be returned immediately to the USA. And then there is a notice from the government of Canada about how to claim refugee status, it looks like. I'm sure I am being watched on some form of security camera right now. There's a little obelisk over here that says International Boundary. You can see there used to be an old flagpole over here. There's also a historical sign over there. Looks like it used to be a little garden too, because there's a sidewalk going all around it. Wonder how it used to look. Oh, there's an old bench here too. I don't know if you can even see it really, but a very low bench being swallowed up. Oh, okay. You can pause if you want to read. It's basically talking about the prairies though and how it was formed. Lake Agassiz. Wildflowers and different prairie plants. All right. Well, I don't think there's too much more to see, and it is starting to get a little cold out here. So I think I'm going to head back. There was one border control car that passed through. I was a little nervous. I thought they were gonna come run me out, but they just drove up to the barrier and waved at me as they went, and then after a minute or two they just turned around and went that way. So I'm sure they just, you know, do routine checks. But yeah, I don't want to be too suspicious anyway. So I am going to see you in the next one. Until then, bye. I think the railway line still seems to pass through this border crossing though. Right here you see American trains, and right over there on that track is a Canadian Pacific train. So that is still operating. And if any authorities want me to identify that deer I saw crossing illegally, I didn't see nothing.